New this morning, a tractor trailer hauling pigs caught fire, prompting a shutdown on I-40 near Cheatham County. This was the scene around 2:30 this morning at mile marker 190. You can see the cab is destroyed and part of the trailer was burned. No human injuries were reported, but officials tell us several pigs did die.
We did it!
No, you didn't. At least not yet. This morning, the 4th congressional district race between Jim Tracy, you heard right there, and the incumbent Scott Desjardins is still too close to call. Last night, you heard him. Jim Tracy claimed he won. Hours later, Scott Desjardins claimed he won. News Channel 5's Cuthbert Langley at the smart screen. So who won? Do we know?
Who knows? That's the question, the million-dollar question. If you can answer it, I'm sure people would love to know that. If you look at it right here, you can see we're tied at 45% each with all of the precincts reporting. When you break down the specific votes, we're talking a difference of just 33 in a total of 75,000 votes total yesterday. So you can see just how small that margin is. Despite that, though, at last night's campaign headquarters, Tracy seemed to be excited. He was ushered in with his family, cheering, all smiles throughout the night. Even introduced as the winner. Bet they're regretting that decision now. He thanked the voters for sending him to Congress. He didn't even wait for Desjardins to give him a phone call to concede, and that's usually something we see in these type of races. Instead, Tracy told us later on that night that he trusted his team, who trusted the numbers, and that's why they went on ahead and announced that he was the winner.
We counted it, triple counted them, called Secretary of State's office. So we did all the, my team did the work on it, and they said it was time to go, and I listened to them, and they give you advice.
Well, this morning, that team sent this statement to us, backpedaling off of that victory speech earlier, saying there are still ballots left to be counted in the 4th District Republican primary. We eagerly await the final outcome once the counting is completed and verified. So again, we are talking about 33 votes separating the two leaders this morning. When it comes down to it, absentee ballots, those are going to play a role in this. And one of the interesting things here is that Tennessee doesn't have a recount law. So basically, Tracy or the Election Commission has to make the call to recount all of those votes. The Associated Press is reporting this morning that this could go on to the end of the month. Now, coming up in 30 minutes, Scott Desjardins, of course, he had some strong words to say from his opponent. We'll hear from him in just a couple of minutes. Back to you guys.
All right, Cuthbert, thank you very much. What a close race. All right, some other results from yesterday's top races. This was closer than a lot of people thought. Sitting U.S. Senator Lamar Alexander beat out Tea Party challenger Joe Carr. Alexander had 50% of the vote. Carr, 41%. Again, a lot closer than many experts were thinking. Alexander will face the Democrat Gordon Ball coming up in November.
And despite an unprecedented and expensive campaign to recall 3 state Supreme Court justices, all 3 will keep their seats. Lieutenant Governor Ron Ramsey accused the liberal justices of being soft on crime and advancing Obamacare. The justices fired back, claiming Ramsey and other out-of-state donors were trying to politicize the court. And half of the Williamson County School Board members will be replaced. Defeating incumbents included Eric Welch, Vicky Vogt, and Chairman Pat Anderson, who served on the school board for more than a decade. They will be replaced by Candace Emerson, Susan Curley, and Dr. Beth Burgos. Today also happens to be the first day of school for Williamson County students.
No surprises for Governor Bill Haslam's campaign, none at all. He came away with a whopping 88% of the vote. Slam dunk. Governor Haslam monitored the results from the Hermitage Hotel. He said he was really keeping an eye on his race and several others. He felt it was going to be a pretty strong night for the GOP.
I've been in close races and some not so close, and you're always just grateful to win. So I appreciate the fact that many people would show up and vote, and I'm encouraged.
Yeah, that's being polite. He was never, ever really challenged. Coon Rippy Brown, the nearest competitor. Governor Haslam says he'll now focus on the general and helping some of his colleagues get elected.
And when Election Day does arrive, Governor Haslam will be facing a relatively unknown Democratic challenger, Charlie Brown. Brown is from Oakdale, Tennessee, and has little more than a Facebook page as evidence of his campaign. This is the only picture posted on the page, him posing with 3 catfish. Nothing else, not a single comment, status update, or campaign event. His name's even misspelled. The Facebook page has 42 likes. Brown may have won the same way Mark Clayton won 2 years ago in a Senate race, just because he was the first candidate on the list.
Wow, and the governor thought the primary was easy. All right. State Senator Stacey Campfield from Tennessee's 7th Senate District was trounced last night by Dr. Richard Briggs, a surgeon and veteran. Briggs picked up more than 2 votes for every 1 cast for Stacey Campfield. Now, since Campfield joined the state Senate 4 years back, he's often made headlines for controversial statements and usually been the butt of many late-night jokes on TV. He recently sponsored legislation requiring drug testing for people who are on welfare. We've got more on some of the statewide races and local elections all morning long. You can also see the results crawling at the bottom of the screen there, and you can find full election results from all the races on our website, newschannel5.com.
All right, in other news this morning, police say they've caught the guy who stole $350 from a Spring Hill mom at Kroger. It happened last night on Port Royal Road after she dropped her envelope of cash on the ground. Suspect's name has not yet been released. He's been charged with theft under $500. 4 former football players are charged with raping a co-ed, but there's a chance only one may end up standing trial. That's the latest development in the high-profile Vanderbilt rape case. 2 of those suspects, Brandon Banks and Jaborian McKenzie, are now believed to have cut deals to testify for the prosecution. Brandon Vandenberg and Corey Beatty are scheduled to go to trial in November. Vandenberg's attorney, Fletcher Long, says the prosecution seems to have a vendetta against his client and knows it's possible even Beatty could cut a deal to testify against him. The case is scheduled to go to trial in November.
A teacher from Humphreys County over near the Tennessee River is in big trouble this morning for allegedly charging clothes, an iPad, and even booze to a school-issued credit card. Heather Wardlaw, pictured right here, allegedly charged $9,000 worth of personal items to that school-issued credit card between August 2009 and November 2013. The former art and social studies teacher from New Johnsonville, Tennessee, accused of taking more than $2,500 from an account belonging to an after-school basketball program. She did turn herself in to police yesterday and was released on a $10,000 bond.